This is Justin Scoop for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Taking a look at SPX. We can see that we made a little bit more of a higher high today over the last 2 days. We did take out again this high. Well, we kind of did that yesterday, but it looks like we're pushing up a little bit. We had some selling that came in right before the market opened. Got a really strong selling candle. At one point, we were up on futures, and then we kind of got down, and not just futures on SPY, also SPX, not so much. It doesn't really show that, but we gapped down and then just pretty much got bought up most of the day until really the last half hour or so. So we're interacting with some of these levels. We can zoom in onto the 3 minute here and see we were kind of chopping around through here. But overall, there was kind of this uptrending happening on the day. We're riding up on the 21 later, and then we got a little too far up and pulled back a little bit. Had a good amount of selling right into the close here. Uh, but the challenge is just like which option to be in. And so, right at the end of the day here, I was set up in a meeting and I was having issues with internet access. And anyway, I was trying to watch the close, but it was not able to get into some trades, which was fine. Missed out on some of that. There's a little bit of FOMO. At the same time, I don't need to have a sell issue, not be able to trade, and things like that happen right there during the day when it's like imperative to be managing a trade. So one thing I'm going to do kind of just to show this on my trading view chart, because I have a channel that really frames up the day and I don't want to try and redraw that, but I'm just going to move this over. So that is not what I meant to do. Hang on. Okay. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show trading view. Here's SPX. And so these purple lines, so the orange is yesterday's high and low. And then today we opened up right here. And then the purple uptrend with the dotted line here, it actually lines up really, really well. So this is why I didn't want to redraw this. So we've got a great touch here, kind of pull back through that a little bit. We're kind of getting close to these highs, riding through the high. Okay, pushed a little bit above, holding the high, holding, pushed a little bit above, a bunch of this, got a little too far up, and then broke back down. Would have liked to see us come back into the midline right at the close. Midline, really great place to bounce here and here. Got a little bit further past it here. Nice hammer candle on that one. And then the bull candle right here, just really rallying off it. I would have expected this to run right up, but I think it was running into some of the resistance from yesterday at that price. Anyway, that's kind of the framework of how today moved. But actually, I've had this channel on here um, since a couple days ago. So I put this on. What day was this? Monday. Just trying to frame up Monday. Got some of these levels, the highs here, the lows here, and then all I did was kind of extend the channel down a little bit as we were breaking down here. It's like, can we get to the 50% extension of this? And then on Tuesday, with kind of this diamond pattern I was talking about yesterday, we're having the megaphone pattern, and we weren't really holding this, but it's like, I'm going to leave it on. We came right into this level, tried to hold there, push through, got all the way down past the 50%, rally, and it wasn't clean until into the close yesterday, running into these prices. And it's like, okay, maybe that's still relevant. And then today bouncing off it. So, the just to kind of hone in on, okay, you have all of this being the channel here, here, and then this playing into some of that level here, here again, kind of getting some touches here, and then all of that. Kind of just the high and the low of the original channel. And then for kind of the 50% extension, all of this was working really well. You can see it just kind of zoomed out. It's like, oh yeah, it's holding pretty well. Yeah, you don't even really notice that you pushed through a little bit in these candles because it was really zoomed in on the 3 minute, but it's holding these levels really well. And so it totally makes sense to have some selling off, even just a pullback, because now, again, if you look at kind of the yellow lines of yesterday's high and yesterday's low, and looking back to the left, it's like we've kind of run into that same level here, and then kind of yesterday here, into the high. That's where the line is meant to be. So we kind of just broke out from that. So basically, we've done this sort of thing, and then we pushed up and pulled back. That's all it is just a consolidation going sideways and then breaking out. Didn't quite get as strong of a pullback here. Didn't quite, but still pretty good. And then something. You can kind of see that, right? Today was mostly a rally. I know it's just, we kind of did like this sort of a pattern, like that. That's what I'm trying to draw. So anyway, that's the framework that I'm looking at on how things move today. Let me get back into my other screen. Did not mean for that to pop up. Let me move this over and see what I need to do here. Okay, back to trading view. So I'm just going to zoom out here and see. Okay, so with the bullish uptrend, um, you would expect for some of the calls to just be moving, right? Well, we got a little bit of that, but then not here. And then we kind of were taking out some lows and then looking like we were hold some of it and then taking out. And so it was just really a grind higher sort of day, but you need to just kind of buy as low as you could and then just hold on to just let it ride up and go higher. Um, and it wasn't even like it's hard on this because I got the fib or the not the fib, the logs on. But it was the kind of day where it didn't really step up. I like the days where it's like, okay, you can buy it two, and then you can buy it three, and then buy it four, and buy it five and six, and it steps through it really well. And it just wasn't that kind of a day today. That said, there were still some things happening on the put that would kind of tell you, hey, like we're breaking through some of these levels. So this breakdown here, retesting, okay, that's a good place, here to be not in puts, but be in call. And then again, we broke down here, retested, got a little higher here, consolidated some, and then broke down some more. It's like, okay, don't be in a call here. And so at those same times, you can be looking at the call to see, okay, how was that moving? What was going on? You know, this first one on this retest back to that low. Well, here's a low. We're bouncing off the 100. And then over here, hey, that's a really nice place to get in. Buy at 4, stop down at 3. I think that would have worked. I'm on the wrong candle. There we go. Yeah, buy at 4, stop down at 3. That would have worked to just let that ride up into the previous high of like 7, maybe 8, and just kind of flip it out. That would have been a nice little double right there on that rally. Now, I don't know what you could have targeted. Again, just looking at how this moved, looks like we ran up and then kind of chopped around, came back down, ran up again, needs a retest of that level. And then in this case, it didn't hold. So a lot of different smaller movements today. I think there's still just a lot of compression going on, trying to ultimately move higher. What I'm anticipating somewhat is that we're going to just continue to rally here, but some more strength has to come in. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.